This is Bruce Buffer, and this is the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time for the MMA-Holes!
Mixed martial a-holes. MMA-Holes, 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 MMA-Holes. You like to be a mixed martial a-hole. MMA-Holes, 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 MMA-Holes.
No way.
From the Sanosi and DRES studios of Arizona, Dana White catches heat from Jake Paul, Ariel Helwani, Mark Hunt, and the Twitter community. We got MMA news in 2022 with the MMA-Holes. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Welcome back into our lovely room over here, the MMA Holes Hour. Yeah, Ariel Helwani over there, who did his end of the year, beginning of the year, end of the year show. And here we are hanging with the Fukin boys. Look at this shirt I got on. Look at this shirt I got on. Big Mo, get Fukin wild. Shout out to Big Mo, and thank you very much for sending us this wonderful, wonderful shirt. Loving it. So go check it out. Big Mo on the social medias. Go check him out over there. Big Mo's wonderful, wonderful. And it's a wonderful, wonderful shirt. It's a wonderful, wonderful Monday. And here we are in the new year. As people were counting down the days saying 2021 was a piece of poo. 2020 was a piece of poo. This year is going to be fantastical. I don't care what anyone says. This is going to be the year for everybody to be productive and WW. The news, check it out. All over the Fukin place. Dana White is playing along with this whole Jake Paul fiasco. You have people from all over the MMA world talking about this. You have MMA Twitter all bouncing back and forth with their opinions. And I'm going to play a clip of what the boss said. I'm going to play a clip of what Jake Paul said as they go back and forth on each other. And I have to be honest with you, I'm a little surprised that the boss is playing the game. I'm a little shocked. It's uncharacteristic. Now, Dana White is not the type of person to just, keep his mouth shut. Of course, he likes to talk some smack. He likes to have a little fun. But in this situation, it does make me scratch my head because he's falling right into what Jake Paul wants him to do. The cocoa is what Jake Paul's saying that he's on. Steroids. What Dana White says Jake Paul is on. And we have a back and forth. Boxing versus MMA. YouTuber versus UFC head honcho. And Dana said some interesting things. Kind of caught me off guard. And we're going to play it. This is just massive cringe tonight on the MMA Holes. 2 hours and 2 minutes of show we have tonight as our saves from Sanosi are going to expire after tonight, but we still have guaranteed 2 hours of show. So what we're going to do is we're going to deliver the cringe, and then we're going to get to the phone calls tonight, Monday night. I want to know how everyone's doing in the chat. It's good to see your wonderful, wonderful faces, and that's right, we got a new donation. I think Ariel Helwani's the first person that we have 2 donations for. So if you check it out down below or pinned in the live chat, 7.25 donation. You can watch Ariel beat off. And I want to thank our sponsors. Head Rush, 20% off, promo code MMA-HOLES. Polymarket, there's a link in the description down below. You can check it out. It's a wonderful, wonderful trading platform. And use referral code MMA-Holes to get up to $100 reimbursed on your first day of trading. So check it out, Polymarket. We got my bookie that I am hungry to place a bet on. And my bookie, use promo code MMA-Holes, and you will receive a 100% match in your first deposit. Looking at the MMA lines over here, upcoming UFC events. I want to see where Chikadze sits because I think I'm going to put some scratch on him. Let's see. Where's the Giga? MMA, UFC lines. Okay, here it is. Giga is a wow. Oh, Calvin's getting a plus 205. Oof. All right, I'm going to have to put it somewhere else. I mean, I think Giga's going to win, but, I mean, that's really slapping Calvin in the face. Damn. No respect on the Calvin name. So you got Chukagi and Maya, Abdul Razak Al-Hassan versus Joaquin Buckley, Pereira versus Salikow. That's a good fight right there. It's almost even, that one. All right, I'll take a look on this. Anyway, next week, the 15th, January 15th, is when these fights are going down. And if you want to check out my bookie for yourself, like I said, the link is in the description. Use the promo code and get the dealies. Also, if you're looking to watch the UFC ESPN Plus, there's a link in the description for that as well. Stay wonderful, wonderful friends. All right, let's see what's going on in the chat, and we will get into our stories, the big topics of the evening. Let's see what's going on in that chat room. How you doing, friends? Have you ever given yourself pink eye to get a sick day? I never had pink eye before. I got to take these lights off. Hold on a second. It's not Christmas anymore. Let's remove. Boop. See you later, lights. Go and grab a steamer once Jessie is done and rub it in your eyes. In a very kosher way. Buckley about to lose is Real Gamer. So Real Gamer's going anti-Buckley. Much love to James Lynch. My man just got divorced. Wait, what? James just got divorced? I don't think that's true. Who you got for the Francis versus Cyril fight? I'm going Francois. You know, I'm curious what the lines are on that. Are these things out yet? I'm going to take a peek over here. Let's see. Did Jessie lose smell, taste from COVID? The answer is yes. She's still having some issues. Actually, she was supposed to get her shot today. She didn't get her shots. I don't know what's going on. When she comes on, you can pick her brain on that. Let's see. Calvin. Upcoming events, UFC lines. Oh, they might not have it here yet. On the old My Bookie. I'm just scrolling through, seeing what we got here. Not yet. Okay. I'll keep an eyeball on it, but I might, if the line's close, I might drop some coin on Ngannou. Anyway, let's go back into the chat. Wow, and you're still surging. Yeah, I mean, listen. The ladies have been surging like crazy ever since that New Year's Eve stream. It's been a complete surge party. We need a surge emoji, LOL. No, we don't. You never know. You know, hey, listen, I got an Ariel beat-off donation tonight, so anything's possible on this show. I wanted to get to work this year. I'm looking to pump out a bunch of new songs. We're going to be swapping donations. We're going to be having new bits on the show. We got a lot of things in the works for 2022. Very excited for this year. It's going to be a fun one. Let's get into the Dana White and Jake Paul situation, okay? So it started...
Jake, you never...
It started with Jake calling out Dana White, calling him a cokehead, and basically that he would fight in the UFC if... I don't know what the terms were. It was just so ridiculous. Just so silly, especially after, when we found out the pay-per-view numbers. I get what Jake is doing. I think, it's a little dopey and silly, but here's the thing. Everyone's talking about it. So I get what Jake is doing here. The only thing is there's some holes in his approach, with his argument with Dana White that kind of make you scratch your head. But I don't think he cares. Honestly, I don't think Jake gives a shit. All he cares about is people talking about him, which he's achieving. So here's the shocking thing. Dana comes out with a video that what is he in his palace? Beautiful chandelier. Looks like some fucking medieval room that he's in. I mean, Dana White, who does have weapons in his home, all sorts of collectible weapons. So it's not surprising that his living room or whatever the hell this is looks like a medieval room. Looks like where they filmed The Last Supper.
Responded to the challenge. You publicly stated that I use cocaine. I do not. So I told you, you could randomly cocaine test me for the next 10 years.
Okay. So we're gonna dissect this thing. You could randomly cocaine test me for the next 10 years. Okay. So yeah, they had a back and forth already where Dana actually said this on the, what the fuck's his name? Teddy Atlas show. That he could like he went out of his way to bring this up, which was kind of bizarre. And the way he's handling this would be the best way a cokehead would handle this. Like I don't think Dana is a cokehead, but he's kind of responding like a cokehead. Maybe I'm off on this one, but to me, he seems like he's a cokehead in this response.
I use cocaine. I do not. So I told you, you could randomly cocaine test me for the next 10 years. I believe that you're a cheater, and I believe that you use steroids.
Now you're a cheater and use steroids. Is an incredible compliment to Jake Paul, considering he doesn't look like a steroid guy. And there's possible that he is on some sort of substance that would pop on USADA, because we've seen guys pop that didn't look like they were on steroids. So that's very possible. But to say he's a big steroid head, I mean, then you gotta test Tyron as well, because Tyron looking yoked. And what do you think? He's out of the USADA pool. What is he gonna do? Not use steroids or enhancements? Of course, Tyron's gonna do it. So I guess you're gonna have to test Tyron as well. So okay.
So I want to randomly steroid test you for the next 2 years.
Now, do you think they're really going to do this? Is Dana really going to fucking pay? I mean, I know Dana's got a shit ton of money, but is it really worth it? Like, what if Jake calls his bluff? It's like, all right, cool. Like, is Dana going to shell out the money for? I mean, that's not cheap. He's just going to be shelling out the money for Jake to be pissing in cups, sending people over there. Throwing, I don't know, how does this work? Like, if I'm Jake, I'm like, okay, cool, let's do it. And then is Jake, what is he gonna do? Send people over to Dana White to test him if he's on cocaine? It's just so stupid, right? I mean, am I nuts? This is a whole dopey situation, and I'm shocked that Dana got involved in this. Maybe because he's running around with the Nelk boys now. Maybe that's the reason. But or maybe he just likes, to keep himself relevant, keep the UFC in the news, because there's no UFC until the 15th. And that makes the most sense. I'm thinking Dana White's like, okay, let's get people yapping. There's no UFC until the 15th. Nothing really going on. John Jones is not running over pregnant ladies. Conor McGregor hasn't really taken many selfies of himself all swollen. I mean, I don't know. So maybe Dana's just doing the heavy lifting, keeping the news going. Which I'm hoping that's the case, because this is so ridiculous.
And that thing that you came out with today, nobody on earth thinks that you really wrote that. You're too stupid. And
now that's the tweet that he put out. And he's probably right there. It did come across like someone put it together. And Jake is like, okay, let me just pop this onto the internet.
For those of you that don't know, if you've ever watched one of his fights and you see when they do the stare down, the guy that's standing in the middle with the warlock nose and the big warlock wart on his face, apparently that's his manager.
You guys know who this guy is? The Warlock.
Jake, you never responded.
Oh shit! Hold on a second. Jeez, that's loud. Let's go to the Warlock. So every time there was like a face-off, which was weird because I didn't really notice this guy before on Showtime. There was a guy in between them who did look like a fucking witch, and then he was at Jake Paul's press conference. Let me see if I can get the picture of this Warlock. Hold on a second here.
Your company.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! Everything's so loud. Why you guys gotta be so loud? Okay, so this guy. You know what? I'm glad that Dana cleared this up. This fucking guy, I was like, who is this guy?
Who the fuck is that guy?
Who is this guy? Well, Dana White explains. We didn't ask, but he explains
Apparently
anyway.
That's his manager. And that guy used to be an accountant for me.
He says an accountant for him. He was the CFO of the UFC. He was pretty high up in the UFC. And Dana said he was an accountant. And
let's just say this. He no longer works for me, and I think he's a scumbag.
So Dana's just throwing this guy under the bus. I lost the fucking picture. Anyway, let's get back to Dana.
Jake,
we'll get to Dana. What the fuck?
Scumbag. But if you two think that you can do it better than we do, we're doing this whole thing wrong. You could treat the fighters better than we do. Knock yourself out. Go start your own business. It's easy to do. Get the Warlock on it.
The Warlock. Dana dragging this other guy into the situation. He calls him the Warlock. So I had a good laugh at that. I was like, wow. Dana's taking the gloves off. He's going after the Warlock, too. Mr. fucking wart face.
Warlock can get it started for you. What you and the Warlock should be focused on.
Now, I'm going to pause this for a second. I know it's probably killing you, but we got Jessie in here, so I want Jessie to hear this. I'm going to back that ass up a little bit. I'm pretty sure she hasn't heard any of this. But my goodness. This is so fucking ridiculous. It really, I'm really shocked. And the only thing I can think of is Dana's, like I said, doing this to stay relevant. So until the UFC fights get going again, because none of it makes any sense. Welcome, Jess. Okay, let's scoot on over. Okay, no, I did not. Just throw an ear in. You don't have the baby with you. Let's get back to it's 2022. Let's get back into the production. I see. Hello. I still hear it.
It's not even on.
Yeah, it's on. It's just low.
When you were playing it, I couldn't even hear anything. See, the light's not on. It's not on.
Oh, it was on. Okay, it's all right. It's off now. All right, I'm going to play this for Jessie over here. So if you just jump it in, you got here just at the right time. We're playing the back and forth. Now, Jess, you know the Twitter banter, right, between Jake and Dana? Have you seen any of that?
I'm familiar with it, yeah.
Okay, so here's the video. Going to back that ass up a little bit over here, okay? Listen to this.
That you're a cheater, and I believe that you use steroids. So I want to randomly steroid test you for the next 2 years. And that thing that you came out with today, nobody on earth thinks that you really wrote that. You're too stupid. And for those of you that don't know, if you've ever watched one of his fights and you see when they do the stare down, the guy that's standing in the middle with the Warlock nose and the big Warlock wart on his face.
You know that guy, Jess?
No.
When Jake did the press conference, well, it's the face-offs, that weird dude that was...
The Warlock nose?
The weird dude that was standing in between him at the face-offs. You don't remember?
No, I don't. I only... The robot.
No. And what about at the press? Did you see Jake's press conference?
The most recent press conference?
Yeah, after this guy.
I honestly don't even recognize him.
You don't recognize him, really?
No, I don't even recognize.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You
Jake,
don't watch
you
any.
never respond to be an accountant.
You don't watch any of that shit. Okay. Well, anyway, that guy was standing in between the face-offs. That guy was sitting next to Jake at the post-fight press conference when him and Tyron were kind of sucking each other off. That guy.
Me. And let's just say this. He no longer works for me, and I think he's a scumbag. But if you two think that you can do it better than we do, we're doing this whole thing wrong. You could treat the fighters better than we do. Knock yourself out. Go start your own business. It's easy to do. Get the Warlock on it. The Warlock can get it started for you. What you and the Warlock should be focused on.
He's calling this guy the Warlock. What do you think about that?
I mean, the ultimate troll move is to just continue calling him a name.
This is how I know. Dana's in his 50s and he's playing this game. So now I know. I got plenty of time, Jess. I could keep on playing. I could act like a child, a man-child. Like Dana's doing it still.
I mean, I'll give my opinion after all this, but...
Okay, give it to now. We have plenty of...
I just think that Dana White's... He's fucking up, man. I get what he's doing. Like, he's trying to, there's no fights. He's trying to keep the UFC in the headlines during this hiatus the UFC's on and everything. I get it. But honestly, like, he would have been smart just to fucking ignore him. This is what Jake Paul wants. You
exactly.
know? Jake Paul wants this so bad, and Dana White is just handing it to him on a silver platter.
He's feeding right into it.
Like
it's weird, right?
And it is weird because Dana White usually doesn't give a shit. Like, he's his own way, and that's that. And the fact that someone like Jake Paul is getting under Dana White's skin enough for him to be making personalized videos like this to post on Instagram is just, come on, man.
Now, someone in the chat, I think it was Let's Go Brandon, said that Jake should have just responded and said, okay, let's steroid test you too, because Dana is on testosterone.
But Dana's not fighting.
No, but he should have went back and said that. Well, I'll test if you test too. You know what I'm saying?
Of course he's gonna
just to
Dana
fuck with
White
him.
has no problem testing for steroids. He knows everybody knows he's on steroids,
I
and he's
know.
not fighting, so it doesn't make
I-
honestly. No, I get it's just if Jake Paul came back and said that, it would have made him sound like an idiot. Honestly.
But regardless of the fact, what I'm saying is no one's sending a fucking testing team back and forth. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
I know.
he's
I
pulling
think
this
the
cocaine thing out of
words,
his ass.
The exchange of words and everything is it's exactly what Jake Paul wants, and I think Dana White needs to chill, man. Like this is not Dana White.
Do you think that perhaps Dana's running around with the Nelk boys a lot and getting a taste of that lifestyle, and he's pretty like, I like this social
If anything,
media shit.
I could put money on it that the Nelk boys are probably egging him on
You think so?
and saying, "Oh, Dana, you got to say something about that, man."
Steve will do it's all drunk and he's saying, "Hey, Dana White, I bought you a freaking van wrapped with
I wouldn't be
Hallerhead."
surprised if they were involved in some weird way, kind of like planting seeds in his head. But at the end of the day, Dana White is Dana White. You know, like he's the man. He makes the decisions and he doesn't listen to anybody.
Well, I think he does.
So, well,
He's listening to
I don't
Jake
think
Paul.
he does. No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I think it's weird because he doesn't listen to anybody, and here he is buying into Jake Paul's words, and come on, Dana.
I know it's a weird look, right? This is not in his wheelhouse. It seems like he talks shit, and it's fun, and his post-fight press conferences are great when it's dealing with the UFC. He does a lot of podcasts. He's always interesting, but this feels awkward. It feels like he's about to get slam dunked.
Dana, as a fan, as a diehard MMA UFC fan, I fucking love you, Dana. But you gotta stop. Get off this Jake Paul shit because you're stooping, man. You're stooping to his level, and I gotta say, I'm not into it. Like I'm watching for like the entertainment value, but it's not a good look for Dana White.
It's weird because he's retaliating at the fact of him being called a cokehead, and the way he is responding to this,
the most guilty is like the most vocal.
makes it like, well, I think you are a cokehead. Like,
Yeah.
right? That it
Well,
feels
no,
like.
I don't. Whether he is or isn't, I don't give a shit. He
Yeah,
has the
it doesn't
money
matter.
for it, so like he
I'm not
probably is a
criticizing.
cokehead. Who cares?
Yeah, I'm not criticizing for that. I'm just saying
Yeah.
it just makes him look more guilty.
The
it doesn't make sense.
defensiveness of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Now the Nelk boys and Steve will do it. Apparently they're not big. They've had Jake Paul on their podcast.
I've
but
heard that they don't really get
Yeah,
along.
there's some heat between the
Yeah.
two. In fact, everyone hates the Nelk boys. That's in the social. Like I know that H3 guy. I know like everyone's shitting on.
Well,
him, right?
it's easy to hate the most successful, right?
Yeah, because they're doing great. Here's the thing. It's a bunch of kids with money being a bunch of brats. That's what they are. They're all being a bunch of brats and hating on
Partying.
each
They're
other.
they're not hurting
Being
anybody.
a bunch of little brats, just arguing with each other on the internet. And now Dana's in the game with the brats. Like he's just back and forth with these spoiled rich kids.
But,
It's like, what is
okay,
going on?
Now that you say it that way, though, like you kind of get what Dana's doing. He is trying to keep it in the headlines, and you have to remember there's a very young demographic, and if he can kind of ploy his name into these younger, personalities, you got younger people watching. He's probably aiming for that demographic.
Here's
you
the
know?
thing. All he had to do was retaliate with the whole fighter pay thing. Like, I feel like this fighter pay thing's getting under his skin. Because
I don't. Everybody's been going after him for fighter pay.
But that's what I'm saying.
he
I think
doesn't give a shit.
I think it's getting to him. I think he addressed the cocaine thing to dance around the fighter pay thing. He gets slammed. You're not on Twitter like I am. Like I see the shit on Twitter.
No, I am on Twitter.
Well, he is getting slammed. Yeah, but he's getting slammed left and right about fighter pay. And Ariel Helwani, who's on our thing, you got Mark Hunt now bitching. Do you have that story?
I do have that story.
Okay, we'll talk about that. But he is getting railed back and forth, with this whole fighter pay bullshit. I think the cocaine angle is just, I think he's just trying to just work
I
his
really
way around
don't think
it.
he gives a shit about the cocaine thing, honestly.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm with you, though. I do think he's using it to kind of like, I don't know if it's about the fighter pay thing, though. I think he's just trying to ploy he's trying to stay relevant during the hiatus. I think that's what he's trying to do. But I think he's going about it all the wrong ways. And listen,
Okay.
I'm not Dana White. I don't know his fucking mentality or what his intentions are. Maybe this is all calculated. But as a fan, I give two shits about Jake Paul. I don't want to fucking hear about him. The only reason we really hear about him is because MMA fighters are now fighting him, and we're reacting to it.
Well,
other than that, I don't give a shit. Dana White, stop talking about him.
Well, Dana started with that. Fuck that goofball. I'm not
He
talking
should
about
have
that
kept
kid.
doing that.
This and this and this. And Jake Paul finally has him yapping. The Teddy Atlas interview, Dana White went out of his way. He wasn't asked that much about the whole Jake Paul situation. Dana stopped both guys and basically threw that proposal about cocaine and getting tested. And I was like, whoa, Dana, something is going on here.
I think he just got under his skin.
What about the angle of Dana trying to keep the UFC in the news because there's not an event till the 15th.
That's what I'm saying. He probably is trying to. Maybe this is calculated, like I said. Maybe he's just trying to stay relevant. I do too, because honestly, if it's not, if none of this is calculated and he's just reacting to react, and because words got to him, I would be extremely disappointed in Dana White.
Yeah,
because that is not what he's known for.
I like the boss. I have defended him. I still defend him online constantly.
100%.
Constantly defend this guy because he is the best thing that happened to the UFC. He is the UFC.
But take Jake Paul's name out of your mouth.
He's the best thing that ever happened to the fight game. He seriously, Dana White has been great. Now, yes, he's probably clawed and shit on people along the way, but who gives a fuck? I don't care. The product's great. I love it. I love the UFC. It's the best, okay? But this thing over here gets a little weird, and I don't know. And you got Ariel bitching about fighter pay. You got Mark Hunt bitching. You got freaking Jake Paul, who is not bitching. He is fucking with Dana White, and he is literally playing with him. A 24-year-old kid is just playing a cat and mouse game with a man that's rich, a man that doesn't need to play these games. It's really weird.
That's what Jake Paul does to everyone, though, not just Dana White. And this is the crazy part. Like, he's done it to MMA fighters, too, that Tyron Woodley, Ben Askren, Jorge Masvidal now. Like, and everything. And you could say, oh, it's all set up so that they can make extra money, whatever. But Jake Paul, as fucking retarded as he comes across, knows what he's doing. Like, he knows exactly the right words to say to get under anybody's skin. Whichever target he chooses, it's like he's got him no matter what. And now he's done it to Dana White.
What's funny, too, is Jake is saying the dumbest shit. Like, he's wrong in everything that he's saying, but
people are biting.
But that's the thing, because he's got idiots that are like, oh, you're right. Dana White's not doing this and that. And it's like, you put the facts together. Everything that Jake is saying is ridiculous. But for some reason, Dana's just falling for it. It's crazy.
Oh, super chat.
It's so fucking nuts, man.
What if Jake Paul actually joins the UF?
He won't.
Skull.
I tell you what,
think he ever will.
Scott Coker, how about this? Scott Coker
I got it.
really wants to get the Paul brothers over there. And you know what? It's not impossible because the numbers are tanking with Showtime. 65K pay-per-view buys. Eventually, Showtime might be like, okay, the circus is over, buddy. You might have to move along. If they're not making the money that they're shelling out to these guys, they might have to move along. And Bellator is not impossible. And could you imagine this? Scott Coker gives a number out to Jake Paul, and Jake Paul says, MMA organization, we can get fighters paid more than the UFC. We could team up with Bellator and try to overthrow the UFC. Is Dana White nervous about this?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think he gives a shit, honestly.
All right.
The only thing he cares about is drug testing, apparently.
Okay, let's see. And thank you, Yappy DK, for the wonderful, wonderful donation. Remember that Ariel donation still in play. We have it pinned in the live chat, $7.25 donation. He masturbates. Okay, here we go.
Is your business. You're tanking. You can't sell pay-per-views. You're calling out Jorge Masvidal because he's a pay-per-view superstar. Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor, Mike Tyson. These are all superstars. You're not. You can't sell pay-per-views. So
okay.
Hold on one second. Can I say one thing? You asked if the Nelk boys are getting into his head. I have another theory. His son introduced him to the Nelk boys. So maybe the Nelk boys and his son are hanging out. They're talking. Nelk boys made a comment or something about Jake Paul. And then his son is going to him saying, Dad, this is what's going on, and it's probably getting to him.
Yeah. Well, he's probably like a superhero to his kid, too. Because
so it's probably more personal if his son is saying something.
Yeah, something's off. Something's off here. But what about this statement over here? You missed this whole thing.
Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor, Mike Tyson. These are all superstars. You're not. You can't sell pay-per-views. So,
okay, what do you think about that?
I mean, they did give away a lot of tickets, and apparently they didn't do as well as they said they were doing in the last event. So he's not wrong.
All the people that he mentioned were in their 30s. And Mike Tyson is what, 60-something? Like, how old is Mike Tyson?
Who cares?
I'll tell you what, who cares? Jake Paul's 24.
So?
What did any of those guys think about this? What one of those guys, now Conor McGregor had a little buzz when he was coming in with the 20s, but was he selling 65K pay-per-view buys? Like, he wasn't doing any of that stuff, right? He wasn't, what Jake Paul's doing compared to what these guys doing when it comes to money. Right, none of those guys.
I don't think he's talking about. He's just talking about, can you sell a pay-per-view?
He's talking about calling out superstars. But at the same time, Jake Paul is doing way more than Jorge Masvidal peaked right before his retirement. Like, Jorge's on his way out, and he's hit his superstar status.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? So if Jake Paul stays in his fucking game and keeps on playing these mind games with all these people in combat sports, if those guys are superstars, then what the fuck is that going to make Jake Paul?
Well, if Jake Paul stays on this course, you have to remember, you can't always, just because someone's successful now doesn't mean they're going to be successful 5 or 10 years down the road. Anything can happen. Honestly, with the way Jake Paul's going, I could see him just, skyrocketing from here. I mean, the only way to go is up with Jake Paul. Unless he fucking eats his words and he just says or does something that royally screws him over and gets him canceled. But we've seen before that they tried to cancel the Paul brothers and they can't be canceled. So, listen, you're probably right, but Dana White is right in the sense that he couldn't outsell his pay-per-views in the last event.
Yeah, there's a little fact in what Dana's saying here. I get what Dana's saying, but I feel like they're putting together these arguments with a gazillion holes in them. Are they doing this on purpose? Like, I'm listening to this, and there's so many comebacks I have if I were Jake Paul.
You have to remember, you have the ability to think about, like, when we argue, right? We both think that we're coming at each other rationally, but there's probably a million other better things we could have said in an argument. And looking back, you're like, oh, I could have said that. I could have said that. It's the same thing with this. These two are going back and forth with each other. And they're just, calculating what they're saying because they're recording it, but they're probably not articulating it the way they want. So we, as bystanders, could look at it and be like, oh, he could have said this and that. It's like with any other argument. I don't think there's holes. I think that they're just so caught up in the situation that they're not really thinking about all the things that they could touch base on.
Dana White has 7 million followers. 7 million. He literally picked up his phone and just threw together nonsense.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like they're not rationalizing.
Why? You have 7 million, or maybe that's why. He doesn't give a fuck how he makes himself look. Now, I would think with 7 million followers, I would kind of like say, okay, let me pull together something interesting here and have a little fun with this. Or maybe Dana's just coming across, maybe he's trying to leave holes in his arguments so they can go back and forth. Maybe that's the case.
I don't think it's that calculated.
None of this shit makes any sense.
Yeah, I think we're looking a little too much into it.
You gotta be your me.
Beat it!
Spank away.
Come on, Ariel!
Helwani. Beat the meat. You gotta be your me. Ariel Helwani. Slap the dick. You gotta be your me. Ariel Helwani. I was fired. You gotta be your me. Ariel Helwani. You gotta be your meat. Dana White doesn't like me.
Did you hear that pop?
Dana and Jake are best friends, haha. Cool face.
Was that just my headphones? Did you hear that?
I hit the mic.
Oh.
The brand new donation. Phil Starr. He did it. Phil Starr did it. He made Ariel Helwani beat his meat. Live on the MMA-Holes.
Yeah. Colby Covington wants to kiss your hand. Donald Trump, can I kiss your hand? Kiss your hand, kiss your hand. Trump, you have a delicious hand. A lot.
Where I come from, people like you get slapped. Nick Diaz to Ariel Helwani. I don't understand why Ariel Helwani is important or why anyone takes this fucking clown serious. He's a two-faced bitch who only cares about himself. Maybe people forgot.
Thank you, Chubbs. Ariel Helwani today, once again, he always brings up the fighter pay thing. I want it for the fighters. I want the fighters. All of us want the fighters to make more money, right? You want the fighters to make more money?
I don't care.
What the fuck? So you don't give a shit? All right. I care. I want the fighters to make more money, but I think that I'm not going to bitch about it because honestly, when I'm looking at the numbers here, they're making more money than me. They're making more money than Jessie. They're making more money than probably this entire fucking chat. they're doing all right. They're making more money than boxers. Unless you talk about the 2% of the elite of boxers. Right? You take out the Canelos and those guys, the big cheese. You talk about the rest, it's not even close. In the UFC, these fighters do pretty well. I mean, they do all right if they stay active. So I'm not too worried about that. But Ariel Helwani's running around. Pay the fighters. Pay the fighters. Pay the fighters. Pay the fighters. I'm all about the fighters. I'm all about this. I'm all about that. He keeps shitting on Dana. Meanwhile, without Dana White, without the UFC, there's no Ariel. There's no MMA-Holes. There's none of us. Is Ariel about the fighter pay? Or is he still just fucking salty about getting kicked out of the UFC?
I think Ariel just cares about the headline, honestly. Just like the rest of us. It's their business. The whole fighter pay shit, like, that's between the fighters and Dana White and the UFC. Like, what do we give a fuck?
The fighters aren't complaining. You know who's complaining? MMA Twitter. Every once in a while you get a fighter here and there. Oh, I needed that bonus. And have a little sob story. Everyone needs more money. Right? Cops need more money. The fucking Starbucks people need more money. McDonald's people need more money. Cabbies need more money. I need more money. Everyone needs more money. We all need more fucking money. But what are you going to do? We'll sit here and complain? No. Are the fighters all complaining? No. Some say, yeah, we could get paid more. We all could get paid more. But everyone on MMA Twitter is going fucking ferocious. Jake Paul's crusading. Then, like Dana White says, start an organization. Ariel Helwani leading the revolt. Let's go, guys. Fighters need to make more money. Okay, Ariel, get to it. Help those fighters out. Because all he's doing is bitching and complaining. In my humble opinion.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Mr. Baratheon.
Who cares if Dana does ye or TRT? He is fighting people and causing damage and injury. Dana can snort Mount Everest, but he's running an amazing company and feeding people. The pay thing is BS. Snooze. These guys are doing well. Paul, Epo all day.
Okay, thank you, Brett Baratheon. I see Bout Better says raise minimum wage. If you look at what the UFC fighters are making at minimum wage, and you look at boxers, even in the biggest of the promotions, they're all making less. So if Jake Paul really wants to help the UFC, help fighters, he wants to help the UFC fighters, why isn't he helping the boxers? These guys.
Jake Paul doesn't care who's getting paid what.
Start a league and maybe on his card he's paying people more, is he? I don't know.
He's just using it. This is just another thing that gets under Dana White's skin because fighters have gone after Dana White before about fighter pay. Jake Paul doesn't give a shit who gets paid. He doesn't. For all he cares, everyone would get paid nothing. Like, he doesn't give a shit. He's just acting like he cares because he's trying to get under Dana's skin. That's it.
I'm starting to agree with you. Listen, I think all of us, Jake, I think everybody wants fighters to make more money. But here's the thing. Jake is using that angle for his narrative. He's using that angle to crowbar himself into people's heads, to start arguing online. He's using that, just like politicians, he's playing everyone like a puppet, like a fiddle. Is that a fiddle or a violin? What's this? A fiddle and a violin. You could do this, right?
I think it's both, right?
He's playing everyone like a fiddle violin. And everyone's just eating it up. Well, not everyone. There are some smart people out there understanding what Jake is doing here. But Jake says this, tweets that, and everyone starts fighting online. Because it's a bunch of fucking minions or some shit like that. I don't know.
You gotta beat your meat. Spank away, spank away. You gotta beat your meat. Ariel Helwani. Hate the meat. You gotta beat your meat. Ariel Helwani. Slap the dick. You gotta beat your meat. Ariel Helwani. Out fired. You gotta beat your meat. Ariel Helwani. You gotta beat
Wow.
your meat. Dana White doesn't like me.
I think it's funny that Jorge Masvidal is complaining about not getting his ego stroked until yesterday by Dana White, but today was picking out a Ferrari at a Ferrari dealership.
Thank you, Chubbs. 2 times we got the brand. It doesn't move you, huh? You're not feeling it?
I was.
If that plays again, Are we gonna go crazy? I mean,
You can go crazy, but I'll bob my head.
it doesn't move you, does it?
I love it. I think it's actually really good. But I'm not like I don't. It's just my personality. I just
It's probably funnier to watch you just sit there like.
I bob my head. I
Like,
don't
how
just
did-
sit there stone faced.
How did I get myself into this?
Why am I justifying myself?
I don't know. But there's the Beat Your Meat donation, the $7.25, brand new one, spanking new. Thank you to Chubbs, and thank you to Phil Starr. You guys are wonderful, wonderful. Appreciate that.
Wonderful, wonderful.
B-Man.
Fighters can always quit and find a normal career. Dana even said no one is forcing you to fight. It's business between the fighter and you. Public opinion doesn't matter.
All right, there we go. Thank you, B-Man.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. I mean, listen, and this is why I'm saying, like, I don't think people should actually give a fuck about fighter pay. Dana White's right, and so is B-Man. If these fighters were that fucking bothered about how much they were getting paid, they can either go to a different organization or just get a 9-to-5. And a lot of these fighters do have 9-to-5s, and they're still fighting. But they're not sitting here fucking complaining about it. If the entire UFC roster was complaining about their pay, I could understand. But let's be real. Jake Paul doesn't give two shits about what people are getting paid. He is using this, and he's going to continue using it because he knows that it gets under Dana White's skin. And Dana White will continue to react. He will continue to respond. And this is exactly what Jake Paul wants.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you. All right, let's finish up with what Dana says, and then we're going to get to Jake Paul's response. Listen, no UFC this weekend, but we're talking about the beef here, and let's see what Dana's got to say to finish this thing up.
You can't sell pay-per-views, so you do whatever the hell you want to do. I'm ready to roll, buddy. I don't use cocaine. Do you use steroids?
What do you think?
Let's do this, Jake.
I think that the answer to that is yes. I think we all know that. But listen, to sit here and accuse someone of using steroids just because they're jacked, I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily fair. Regardless, I get what Dana's trying to do, right? He's trying to find a way to make a counter jab here. Problem is Jake Paul's not going to give a shit. He's going to laugh. He's going to laugh in the face of this video. He does not care. He's probably been given steroid accusations the entire time he's been in boxing. You know, like, he's just gonna laugh at this. And he's gonna make some other stupid comment to get under Dana White's skin.
Well, guess what? I got the video. I got Jake's response to this.
I rest my case.
And by the way, Dana, you have 7 million followers. You still don't know to look into the camera, not at yourself. When you're how does he not know this?
I don't use cocaine.
You're looking at your screen, Dana. You got to look at the camera. So you're trying to make this drastic statement to Jake Paul, yet you're looking at yourself.
Ready to roll, buddy. I don't use cocaine.
How does he not know to look at the camera, Jess?
I think it's an honest mistake that a lot of people make.
Cocaine. Do you use steroids?
Who are you talking? Are you reading a script? Why are you not looking at the camera?
Let's do this, Jake.
He says, let's do this, Jake, yet he's staring at himself. Weird, Dana. Okay, Dana, thanks for your contribution to this ridiculous situation. And here comes Jake Paul's response. My only problem with this thing is, well, there's a lot of problems. But anyway, Jake is doing this with freaking techno music in the background as I think he's in Puerto Rico or something. He's on vacation. And he says, my response to Dana White. Part of my offer is enrolling in USADA, the steroid testing for all UFC fighters. Let's do it, Dana. I take Oreos and popcorn, that's steroids.
Never responded to the challenge.
Dana, I accepted every part of your challenge. I said I would fight Masvidal in MMA. Steroid test me whenever the fuck you want.
Steroid test me wherever the fuck you want. Is he trying to talk like Mike Tyson too?
I'm just focused on the fact that this guy has a cigar in his hand.
You can steroid test me as much as you want because I tell you what, my tongue is so big I can't even talk around my tongue.
Steroid test me
whenever a good thing I'm fine because I talk like that.
Whenever the fuck you want. It is 2 weeks after my fight, and I am a fat bitch. I don't do steroids, and I take it as a compliment because there's no other excuse to me knocking out all of your champions than this kid does steroids. Look at me. Look at that. a fat bitch. If you steroid test me, then I want to steroid test every one of your fighters. Ooh, you want to do it though, will you?
I use cocaine.
I'm in St. Bart's, one of the nicest beaches in the world. You're ruining my vacation. We were on a yacht party last night, Meek Mill, Drake, everybody, Mike Tyson going crazy. You have been caught with cocaine and hookers every...
That's Ariane Celeste. He just called Ariane Celeste a hooker.
Did you see her comment on the right? She goes, so now I'm a hooker.
Oh,
nice.
shit. I didn't even see that. He called her a hooker. Oh, my God, Jake. Lisping himself into... But you know what? He's going to get a gazillion retweets. He's going to get everyone talking, right? Good for you, Jake. Good for you. He doesn't have to say any logical things here. He knows he's got Dana right what he wants him.
World, you're ruining my vacation. We were on a yacht party last night, Meek Mill, Drake, everybody, Mike Tyson going crazy. You have been caught with cocaine and hookers every other week.
I use cocaine.
And you think that, like, with all the money that you have, like billionaire or some shit, that you would get some fucking Botox, because your forehead looks like a motherfucking GPS Google map. Like,
oh boy, Jess. Dana White's catching it. He's catching the heat
all
here.
the lines in it and shit.
I use cocaine.
And you say Masvidal is a pay-per-view superstar. Let's go to his last Instagram post. 5,000 likes or 10,000 likes or some shit. Do you realize that my mom, Pam, gets more likes than your pay-per-view superstar?
What do you think about that?
I mean, that's a pretty good comeback.
His mom gets more likes than Jorge Masvidal. Oh, God. Oh, what did Dana do? What did he do? He opened the door to
This is not the guy to go back and forth with, you know? Because even though he sounds like a fucking retard, he has all the right things to say to make... It's just like... It's so dumb. Like, I actually hate it. I hate that I actually think that Jake Paul could beat Dana White in this whole trolling facade, but... Every
social media personality would be able to torch Dana White. Let's be serious. It's the job. It's like, it's what everyone does. If Dana went after us, you don't think we could put something together that could just completely destroy him?
I understand, but I'm saying, given Jake,
it doesn't make any sense.
Given Jake Paul's history with going back and forth with people, this guy, he has done pretty good roasts in the past.
But Jess, you're missing the point. Any person that's an influencer.
You just asked me what I thought. This is what I think.
Yeah, I'm just saying any person. This is the problem. Like Dana, it's not just Jake Paul. It's not like Jake Paul is this fantastic comeback artist.
I'm not calling him a fantastic comeback artist. All I'm saying is it's not really the guy for Dana White to be going back and forth with, because it's just going to make stupidity even worse.
Crazy, man. Dana's got to call the Nelk boys to do his dirty work. Steve will do it.
Men lie, women lie, Dana White lies, numbers don't. You want to talk shit about my manager, who is the CFO of your company that helped you sell it to Endeavor, $4 billion?
Guy that's standing in the middle, apparently that's his manager. And that guy used to be an accountant for me.
You're just a jealous, ugly...
Wait, hold on. What did that text say? What does it say?
So good, Justine, ha ha ha. We got him mad. I think you're a cute warlock. LOL accountant. I'm the accountant.
Hold on. Which
Jake Paul is blue.
Okay.
The warlock is black. But again, you did accept his challenge. And then Jake Paul says that is another word for CFO.
Oh my God. What's Nikisa? What does that mean?
I don't know.
We got a mad Nikisa? Am I reading that wrong? I think you're a cute warlock. That's actually pretty fucking funny.
For me.
You're just a jealous, ugly fuck. You don't know what true happiness is. You're the definition of a fucking unhappy billionaire who thought that money was gonna make their lives better. Feel bad for you.
I use cocaine.
Long story short, you addressed nothing that I said. I accepted your challenge. I said I would fight MMA. I said that I would retire from boxing, and you avoided all of that shit. Hold on. Also, instant replay, there was a fucking UFO in the back of this video. Side note, but like fucking...
he ruined it.
You don't like the UFO, Jess?
You know what? He was on a roll. And then he acted like a fucking retard again.
The invasion interrupted him.
I agree with JBM 100%. You're not entitled to be in the fucking UFC. If you don't like it, there's a fucking door. The idea that someone picking out a Ferrari is being underpaid, miss me with that shit.
Well, yeah, we both agree on that. I mean, it's silly. It's the whole thing is, I don't know. It's like It's weird how people.
But this is why, like, even if fighters are saying, you know, they make a comment here and there about fighter pay, they're not like, you don't see them sitting around sulking and whining and bitching and complaining about their fighter pay. They make a comment once here or there and they move on. And the reason for that is because they know they could have it way worse. It's
the internet. It's Twitter. The cancer of Twitter. There are so many people out there. I think people have a hard on for Dana White, like Jake Paul, but there are a lot of people out there that just can't stand Dana White. They can't stand that the man sold the UFC, made $1 gazillion. They can't stand that the UFC kept rolling through the pandemic and didn't crash and burn. There was so many of those assholes out there like, Dana White's going to get everyone killed. Dana White is doing this and that, trying to cancel Dana for fucking keeping the UFC going. Nothing happened. The UFC, the party still rolled on, and Dana just laughed his way to the bank each and every week. There are people out there that just can't stand Dana White. That's what it is. And they're using fighters and fighter pay. They're using that angle to make Dana White look like an asshole. They're making that, they're trying this, the witch hunt for Dana White. That's what it is. It's a fucking witch hunt. And they're trying to find everything they can to crucify him.
Super chat.
It's crazy, man.
I wish we could all have this conversation 3 years from now.
Eric, thank you, man. It's crazy. Thank you for the 5. Like, let's call a spade a spade. There are people that are covering the sport, shitting on Dana White for fighter pay, shitting on him for running the organization with COVID going on and recklessly going forward. Jake Paul's calling out Dana White because he knows that Dana White is doing a freaking huge thing with the UFC, that the UFC is clearly bigger than boxing. Teddy Atlas. That's Teddy Atlas's words. So Jake Paul is going after the big fish. Dana White has 7 million followers. All right. Now Jake Paul has 18.4, which is kind of insane, right? I never even knew that. Look at this. This kid, 24 years old, has 18.4 million followers. So why do you think Dana White's doing this? Dana White's playing into the game because he's got 7 mil. And now Jake Paul is putting him on blast on his 18.4 million follower thing. And that's just going to get Dana White exposure. But at what cost? Is it worth it, Jess?
I mean, listen, like I said, if it is calculated, I get what he's doing. But I just can't justify the president of the UFC, the baddest of the bad, going back and forth with Jake fucking Paul. I can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah, hopefully he's just having fun with this. He likes to get roasted. You know, he's just having a good time laughing about the responses back and forth. And most likely that's the case. You know, most likely that's the case. But in this exchange, Jake is winning when it comes to the back and forth on social media, as we would all expect, right? Let's play the rest of this nonsense.
We're all fucked. It shows that you are in a corner. You're a dog in a corner trying to fight to save his whole company, and the embarrassment that I've put you through, everybody sees it. And what you can't accept or love or appreciate is that I'm trying to change the sport forever. And you are one of the most selfish, capitalistic motherfuckers that I've ever seen. And everybody else needs you, Dana. I'm the only person that doesn't need you.
If you don't need him, though,
then why are you picking at him?
Why are you responding? You're on vacation. Jake, you're on fucking vacation.
Because he needs him.
You do need him. If you want to keep this fight, if you want to keep the party going forward, you want to keep on humiliating the UFC and their fighters and yada, yada, yada.
And keeping his name in the headlines with the whole combat sports thing.
You do kind of need him for that angle. Not to be successful, but when it comes to the fight game, you do kind of need him, bud. No? How drunk you think Jake is here?
I mean, he is on vacation.
Dana White can literally put a squash on this whole thing. He can completely ignore it, move on, keep his fighters under contract, move, and just keep going. No response, whatever. But they're playing back and forth, and here we go.
And I don't give a fuck about you. But all these people, all your fighters, all of them, they can't say shit because you'll just bench them. You met your maker. I'm not going to stop. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
I use cocaine.
The bottom line, Dana, is that you won't add health care for your fighters because you don't give a fuck about them. And you're too...
Was he giving health care to his fighters on his cards?
Jake Paul?
Yeah. Where's the health care?
I actually don't know.
Like on Showtime?
But this is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what Jake Paul's doing. He's trying to shine the light on what Dana White's doing wrong. That's what I'm saying. Like, how could you buy into this? It's just such bullshit. This whole thing is bullshit.
Yeah, it's horseshit. The whole thing is a complete mess. It's so crazy, man. And it's exploding all over the interwebs. And somehow we're wrapped up in this thing. But it's what we do. We cover the nonsense.
Too much of a greedy bitch to pay your minimum fighter more than $12,000 for risking their lives, which is what a janitor makes. Yeah.
If that's what a janitor makes, and boxers are making what, 2 to 10,000? They're not making 10.
Because he doesn't care. They're
making less than what people that make less than janitors make.
To pay them $50,000, Dana. Stop avoiding my points.
Jake, you never responded to the challenge.
Dana, I accept.
Okay, all right. Enough. Jesus Christ. All right, let's see what the chat has to say over here.
All right. I'm good on ever hearing another bad word about Dana or Rogan, honestly. Says Guido. Mad Pickens says pee in a cup, dude. Alex says some boxers make $500. Taco Slurpee says the Warlock took an unbelievable loss at $65K. Johnny Hall says Masvidal supported Jake Paul's comment. Janitor is a union job. They make I miss it.
Yeah, actually, janitor's a pretty good, decent job.
$30K or $100K if you're a janitorial engineer.
Yeah.
Jesse, did you lose taste and smell from COVID? Have you fully recovered? I did lose taste and smell. I recovered like the week after. Like, I got my taste and smell back when I recovered, and then 2 months later, I lost it again, and my smell has never been the same. Let's see. Sean Hunter says 100% Jesse UFC is live nearly every week. If Paul could go weekly and pay top dollar, then he has a valid point.
Well, the angle would be team up with Scott Coker. Scott has something in place. Jake goes at his superstar ability and drives the circus over there and tries to keep the MMA. I mean, that would be a fucking badass move. And I have to be honest with you, I'd be all over that. If Jake Paul went over to Bellator and says, hey, Scotty boy, who Scott has complete interest, we'll segue into that story. If they team up with Jake Paul's social media following, Scott Coker, who has done a pretty damn good job when it came to Strikeforce. Bellator has its moments, not quite there yet, but Strikeforce was badass. I loved Strikeforce. Who knows? That could be a whole different ballgame. And competition's good for fans. So let's get into that story real quick, and we'll get into the phone lines, talk about some other news as well. Thank you for joining us. If you haven't hit the like button, you are going to listen to Jake Paul speak for eternity. I'm going to strap headphones to your head. I'm going to tape you to him. I'm going to super glue them to your ears, and you have to listen to Jake Paul for the rest of your life.
According to Jesse Holland of SB Nation, Bellator MMA wants to sign Jake and Logan Paul, saying these guys are real athletes. Jake and Logan Paul will never compete for UFC because promotion president Dana White doesn't want to be arrested on murder charges. So the closest the YouTube brothers will ever get to a UFC fight is their eventual bum rush inside a Las Vegas nightclub. Let's face it, finding White in Sin City is not a difficult task, but just because Team Paul is not welcome in the UFC doesn't mean either brother has to abandon his aspirations of becoming a successful cage fighter. In fact, Bellator MMA president Scott Coker is ready to put pen to paper just as soon as they're available, and there will be no shortage of opponents. He said, I always said, look, these guys are real athletes and they're young, they work hard, they're grinding it out. They're putting in the work, you can't take that away from them, and they're getting better and better and better. What you saw was Woodley, that's a lot of hard work to get to that point. I've never seen Woodley get knocked out like that, right? And so is it just boxing? Yes. So I always said, look, man, don't underestimate these guys. And this was like a year and a half ago. Of the two, the 24-year-old Jake is the more accomplished fighter, racking up a 5-0 record for the 4 brutal knockouts, including last month's destruction of former UFC champ Tyron Woodley. As for Logan, who's 26 years old, he's just 0-1 and got boxed up by Floyd Mayweather during their exhibition bout last June. And yeah, there's just like a whole bunch of quotes and stuff coming in by Coker. But pretty much he wants Jake Paul and Logan Paul to be on their team.
No, that would be nice. That would be interesting. But what does Scott Coker say? No, I don't want them, of course, right? I mean, why wouldn't he want Jake Paul? I mean, it's not like anyone's really watching Bellator. So, yeah, that'd be amazing. What do you think the odds of something like that happening?
I don't think it's going to happen for Bellator. But them moving over to MMA is not impossible.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, if Jake was serious about changing the game for MMA fighters and getting them paid, either start a promotion or team up with somebody and get these fighters paid so you could put your money where your mouth is and it's just not nonsense going back and forth. Because right now, that's what's going on. It's just complete nonsense back and forth between the two. And we're all eating it up. I don't know why. Maybe we should stop eating it up. Maybe we should stop. What does Fidela say?
I like jokes and games, but damn it, I earned clean women that aren't covered in men. That's simple. I've got some holes in my brain, and now having my mind read or manage doesn't work. Why are we reading this comment?
I don't know. It was a long thing, and I thought it was important, and clearly it wasn't. Thank you for your contribution. Appreciate that. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We're going to do some phone calls, jump into the rest of the news. We have a 2-hour show tonight. Thank you for the donations, tickling that new Ariel donation. And we'll be right back after these quick calls. Oh, no, after this song, and then we'll have an hour of calls. Okay.
My name is Mystic. What's your name, and how can I help you?
You know what? I mean, this is Lone Wolf, a.k.a. Allheart, a.k.a. Lone Wolf, a.k.a. Silver Carl.
How's it going, Silver Carl?
Wonderful.
Yeah, my name's Casper, and I'm a ghost.
Sean, how are you tonight?
Nice. Which one's having?
Yo, drunk, what's up?
Yeah, this is DIAZ. I have a beach problem.
Okay, well, this is a real gamer.
Red, your voice sounds a lot faggier on the phone.
Hey, it's MJ, the artist formerly known as Kevin. How you doing?
Hey, my name's Dan. I got a question.
Yo, Sanosi.
What's up, Sanosi?
What's up, you guys? It's Justin James.
Hey, guys, it's Kevin from Denver. How you doing?
Wonderful.
Hello, Mustafa.
832, you're live with the MMA-Holes. What's your name and what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up? It's Pulse.
What's up, Pulse?
Hey, Pulse.
Clocks. Hey, it's good luck.
Alexander.
What am I, chopped liver?
We're celebrating.
Ole.
Yeah, baby.
617, you're live with the MMA-Holes. What's your name and what's on your mind?
Michael Anthony from Boston.
No way! Michael Anzalone, you just gave me butterflies when I heard your voice.
Michael, welcome to the show.
Huh?
It's the knitter.
Hello, guys. How you doing? Hi, Jessie.
Hit the like button, you folks. This is the double champ.
Yeah, I want to talk to you. You know I'm not big on talking about fighting that much, but...
This is Jeremiah.
Hey, it's Kevin from Chicago.
Nothing. Gotta talk about these fights real quick.
It's my kill. Jesus Christ. I'm over here trying to stay awake and shit. Jesus. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was doing it for you, huh?
Like, no one cares, Justin. Who the fuck you talking about? Brooklyn Dodgers? Who the fuck them? I don't give a shit about them.
Yeah, he thought the Brooklyn Dodgers should be the ring girl of the year. All right,
that horse.
Okay, Crone, thank you, man.
Wait, he has stuff to talk about. He's making fun of Justin first. Don't hang up on him.
Hey.
Anything else?
Stay white.
Okay, I appreciate that.
All right, the number is 516-522-0267. An hour of phone calls, some more UFC news. We left off before the break with the topic of Dana White. Now, there's a story with Mark Hunt as well. You want to jump into that story real quick? And then we'll jump into the calls as I get the phone lines ready. And thank you once again to everyone that hit the like button, hit the donation. Appreciate the sponsors with the links in the description. Shout out to everyone that supports this show. You are all wonderful.
Wonderful.
According to Alexander K. Lee of MMA Fighting, Mark Hunt challenges Dana White and the Fertitta brothers to a fight after being ordered to pay the UFC nearly $400K in legal fees. Mark Hunt has been dealt a major blow in his ongoing legal battle with the UFC, and he has a fiery response for his former bosses. The former UFC heavyweight contender has been ordered by the United States District Court in Nevada to pay $388,235 in attorney fees and costs to his former employer, according to Hunt v. Zuffa court documents recently made public from the ruling in March 25, 2021. Shortly after news of the ruling began to circulate, Hunt took to social media to refute the notion that he will have to pay the fee and to challenge the UFC president Dana White and former UFC executives Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta to a fight with unique stakes. Hunt suggests that should the three men beat him, he will drop the remainder of the lawsuit. Should he win, he wants to see the UFC pay fighters who have grievances with the promotion. This is exactly what he said. 5 rounds MMA, these losers, Dana White, Frank Fertitta, Lorenzo Fertitta, has sucked the life out of so many fighters, him and his scum friends. You win, I drop the lawsuit. I win, you pay every fighter you have ripped off since UFC started. Now, who would pay to see that? The March ruling marked the resolution of a motion filed by the UFC in December 2019, in which Zuffa attorneys cited a clause in Hunt's promotional agreement where the plaintiff is responsible for paying the legal fees of the prevailing party, in this case Zuffa and the UFC, in the event of an unsuccessful lawsuit. Hunt, who's 47 years old, and the UFC have been embroiled in a legal conflict since 2017, stemming from Hunt's fight against Brock Lesnar at UFC 200 in July 2016. Lesnar defeated Hunt by unanimous decision, but that result was later overturned to a no contest by the Nevada Athletic Commission when it was revealed that Lesnar had tested positive for clomiphene in both in and out of competition tests. That violation prompted Hunt to claim that the UFC knowingly hid the results of Lesnar's tests and subsequently filed a RICO lawsuit against Zuffa and the UFC, alleging conspiracy to commit a crime related to racketeering, fraud, false pretenses, breach of contract, breach of covenant of good faith and fair dealing, negligence, and unjust enrichment. The majority of these charges were dismissed in the Nevada court in February 2019, while the remaining charge of the breach of the implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing was dismissed the following November. However, in September 2021, Hunt's team took their case to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit, and after a successful appeal, they are heading back to court to address the lawsuit's claims of fraud and battery. This is likely one reason why Hunt scoffed at the news that he will have to pay the 6-figure legal fees, though the March 2021 ruling declared the order was not premature. The matter was addressed by U.S. District Judge Jennifer A. Dorsey in Section 1A of the court documents.
So wasn't Mark Hunt just skipping down the street saying that he won and blah blah blah? He was gonna get paid, and now here he is in like the UFC is trying to get some money out of him and this whole deal.
Well, according to the court, he has to pay that money.
That's crazy.
$388,000.
He was legit just skipping down the street. So here's Mark Hunt once again tangled up with the UFC, and what a mess! What a freaking mess! So Mark, just get in line. Get in line. Everyone is going after the UFC. Big bad UFC. Let's open up the phone lines at 516-522-0267. Mark Hunt's career didn't end the way I wanted it to, even though he probably will keep fighting for the rest of his life. But I kind of wish Mark left on a little more of a high note. He was fun with his Slim Shady haircut and his big blubbery body. All right, call the show. Let's chat away. And if you haven't hit the like button, let's get it popping here. 91 likes, completely unacceptable. Let's pump them up, baby. Pump up the likes, help out the show. And the phone number is up above my head, 516-522-0267. Let's see what's going on in the live chat as we are here in 2022. Does it feel good to be in 2022?
Feels good.
Nice.
He fought so many juice heads and beat a lot of them, says Guido. Kainoda says Lesnar took his soul. The Ugly says Hunt was the one-hitter quitter. Kainoda says I was hoping Hunt would join the WWE and become an Islander. Shroom Grizzly says Whiskey Eyes. Sean Hart says Pump Pump. Carl Gray says Mark is triple X. I'm confused. You says Mark's brother Mike didn't fare well either. Guido says the OG of the walk-off. Bout Better says Hunt could compete in the current heavyweight ranking. T-Stan says, what's your thoughts on Convid?
On who?
Convid. He's trying to put a pun on COVID. He's calling it Convid.
Ah, okay.
Johnny Hall says Kevin from Chicago is in love with Jake Paul. Taco Slurpee says Lesnar quit when Ubering crushed his midsection.
It was actually a pretty funny. There's a couple of funny things that we've seen on Netflix as we wait on the calls to come in. 516-522-0267. We watched Don't Look Up, and we also watched that spoof on 2021. And I'd advise you guys watch that. It's pretty funny.
Oh, the This is 2021 or something like that, or the end of 2020. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, it was
on Netflix.
Satiring all the conspiracy people. It was just perfectly wrapped everything up.
Call from
Surge.
Hey, Drunk Surge, how you doing?
Yo.
All right. So what's going on? What's on your mind?
Another week talking about fucking the Paul bros, but whatever. I mean, if Jake was smart, he should come back with, all right, you can steroid test me if you take a polygraph test whether or not you cheat on your wife.
Oh, damn.
I mean, I don't even think that would be necessary. His wife already knows. You know, everybody already knows. You know? It's not like he's hiding anything.
Yeah, but, it's not really, like, publicly like that.
It is. They caught
It's
him.
just whispered about.
No. They actually caught him on the yacht with that chick like a year or two ago. Yeah, everybody knows. That's the thing. Like, if he was gonna make a better comeback, it'd have to be something that Dana White's hiding.
Yeah, and if you break bro code, it's like it's a bad look. Like Colby Covington did it. It was a ski box.
The media broke bro code really because everybody knows about it. Dana White knows. Everybody knows. His wife knows. I mean, you can't hide it. He got caught on a yacht with a woman. Like.
Yeah. It's
okay, I got something. Have you ever seen Dana White's son? He looks awfully lot like Joe Rogan. He should say he has to get a fucking DNA test with Joe Rogan and his son.
Does he look like Joe Rogan? Really? Let me take a look.
Oh yeah.
What's the age
difference? There was
difference?
a picture that came out not too long ago. He looked just like a young Joe Rogan when he had hair and shit in the 90s.
Okay, let me check this out.
I mean, aren't they close in age? I think that's a little unrealistic.
No, he said a young Joe Rogan. He said, Jess.
Oh.
I seen. Wait, this kid? Hold on a second. The kid looks like. Wait. This kid looks like what's that actor's name? The guy. What the hell's that guy's name? Oh shit, he was in Planet of the Apes. People think he's gay, but I don't think he is. He was in This Is the End. What the hell's that guy's name? Help me out, Jess. He's in every movie. What the fuck is his name? James Franco. Thank you, Kainoto. Jesus Christ. The kid looks just like James Franco.
No, his brother, Dave Franco.
Dave Franco, yeah.
No, there was another one. I think he's got another kid. He was like wearing football gear and shit. The picture I saw, and he looked just like fucking young Joe Rogan in the 90s.
Okay.
I'll look for it and try to post it on the website later.
Okay. So that's what Drunk says the comeback should be, right? The Joe Rogan approach, okay?
And the shit with fire pay, I'm done arguing about it. It is what it fucking is. But I kind of like the idea that UFC should kind of do something for like certain fighters after they're done, shit like a pension plan. I mean, even fucking Bare Knuckles coming out with some type of pension thing.
Actually, hold on a second. Hold that thought because I'm looking at these pictures, more pictures of Dana's son, and he does look like someone. He does look like a young Dana White.
A young Dana White?
The picture I fucking
saw. That was from the chat.
Maybe it was someone else. But I saw a picture. It looked just like a young Joe Rogan.
Yeah. It is weird that it resembles... Yeah, go ahead. Okay, what were you saying before?
Fighter pay pensions.
Like the fucking pension plan for fighters when they fucking retire and shit.
Okay.
Like, that's something they could fucking do. I mean, come on. I'm not saying, like, okay, you're in for a couple of fights or something, but guys who have been there for a long time, like fucking Diego Sanchez.
Mm-hmm. So wait, so you're saying formulate a pension plan so when he retires, they're set up for life?
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, you don't got to do something crazy. I mean, a couple grand a month just so he doesn't fucking end up on the street and shit.
Well, what they could do is have courses for them or match whatever they put into the, a 401 or whatever, a sort of funds. Like they can do something where they take parts out of their check and set fighters up. They should do something like that. But just to flat out pay a pension plan for them, I mean, that could get a little crazy, no?
Yeah, with as many fighters that go in and out of that company, I mean...
Yeah, I'm not saying everyone, but like fighters who've been there a long time, made a fucking impact.
But here's the problem with that theory. I get what you're saying, but if they just do it for the people, for the veterans, the people who've been in there for a while... Then you got the younger fighters coming in. Well, why don't we have a pension plan? When am I going to get mine? And then if they don't get a pension plan, then that's a whole other fucking shitstorm. You know what I mean? So
pensions are going to be a thing of the past. Unfortunately, it's sad, man. It's so sad.
You got to say tough. Earn it, bitch.
Unions are crumbling. Like there's so much shit going on here, and for the the UFC to say here you go, that's probably not going to happen. Unfortunately, it sucks.
But yeah, I think. This thing, Jake and Dana, this is all fucking a ploy or something. I think eventually Dana does want to fucking bring him into UFC, but just recently, the 65K shit, yeah, I don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon. He's got to prove himself now.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, Dana brought in CM Punk. I mean, come on.
Yeah, like what happened there?
And he did it twice. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Dana will bring in fucking Tom Cruise. He doesn't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, the stars aren't lining up right now, but never say never.
Exactly.
All right.
He didn't want him to embarrass another one of his fighters, like one who's actually in the fucking company.
That would be hilarious, though. Dana brings over Jake, and Jake, like, sleeps Israel Adesanya, some shit like that. You're like, what? Wait, hold on.
Oh, God. Can you imagine Jessie's fucking response?
That'd be perfect. Jake versus Izzy. Let's go, baby. Let's do it. They're not going to the ground. They're going to fucking stand and trade. It's going to be great. Jake, imagine that shit. Oh, my God. I think that's when we just retire this channel. I think that's when we throw it in.
Izzy might want to molest Jake a little bit, little white boy.
Oh God, but that would be a wet dream for the UFC if Jake went in there and started just mowing over UFC fighters, because Jake's got 18 million followers. You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine the eyeballs? Even if Jake mowed through the MMA world, it still is it's still not necessarily a bad thing. You know?
All them followers and 65K tuned in or bought it anyways.
Yeah, but you think about this. If Jake goes to the UFC, I mean, it's not going to be 65K. You know? His dance partner.
UFC's going to fucking stack that card.
Yeah, the UFC they're no joke. I mean, they were putting, what's his face? Hardy. What's his name? I was going to say Dan Hardy. Greg Hardy. Yeah, they're putting him on main cards. There's a reason why they're doing that shit. Like Sean O'Malley's on main cards because, you know, they like to put things together nicely for these guys. It's not like boxing where it's just one fight. Like boxing's such a mess. One fight, $80. It's crazy. That's why it's 65K pay-per-view buys.
It's so stupid. They need to change the model, but they never will.
Nah, well, eventually. You know, you keep on taking hits on pay-per-views, paying these guys these big purses. You know, eventually you're going to have to fold somehow. But it's crazy. It's true, though. Boxing, how long has it been around? And this has been the motto, right? You know, it's one fight. Everything else, whatever. It's worked this long.
For a while there, it was just, ain't broke, don't fix it. But now.
Yeah. Dana White's the monkey wrench in all of this.
Oh, yeah, that fucking new donation. God, that fucking look on Ariel's face. That probably is the look on his face when he fucking masturbates. It's very disturbing.
I want to give thanks to Sherdog for that. As it popped up, I was like, oh, this has got literally. So that donation was put together, what, 45 minutes before the show?
Yeah, he literally just locked himself in the studio and
I'm just belting out, just yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that donation was. I saw that GIF and I was like, all right, that's going on the show.
Clip that and send it to Ariel on Twitter.
Yeah, Ariel's he's scared. He's scared, man. But we got him behind us, so.
You have a cease and desist letter at your fucking door tomorrow.
Yeah, Ariel avoids us like the plague. Like, Ariel is just like, he wants no part of the MMA-Holes, and I like it like that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, fucking. Claims to be Helwani, but backs down.
Yeah, and did you see how he went hard on Dylan? Did you pull that, Dylan Dennis's thing?
I did not.
That was kind of funny.
Oh my God, Ariel, there was no chill in that. Like, where did that come from?
Well, Dan, you can't take fucking shit from Dylan Dennis. He has a fucking partner, what, 3 years now?
I mean, he's right.
He doesn't fucking talk.
Yeah, he is right, but my goodness, like Dylan hasn't fought, right? Dylan must have slipped into his DM, and Ariel said I had enough. But I'll pull it up over here so Jessie can see this.
I think we've all kind of had enough of Dylan Dennis. I mean, just fucking fight, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
How bad was his fucking injury?
Who, Dylan? Yeah, he's just being a fucking turd. Yeah, but, you know, it's just like, yeah, the novelty's over. You know, he's giving out money to people to follow him, and he's calling out people that he's never going to fight, and it's just like, all right, bro, like, what are we doing?
Hey, fuck, at this rate, Dan Hardy's going to have his fucking comeback fight before he fights again.
Yeah. I thought the Glove Touch posted this thing. I could have sworn he posted it, but I guess he didn't. What the fuck? I was looking for this Ariel thing. Hold on, I'll pull up Ariel's. Anyway, you got anything else?
No, that's it. I'll let the next person call in.
Nice.
All right, later, Sodman.
All right, Drunk. There he is. Drunk Savage. 516-522-0267. Let me pull this up here. I'm surprised you didn't see this.
No, you told me about it earlier, but I just have not had the chance to look at it.
Yeah, he went pretty hard on the GOAT, Dylan Dennis.
Call from.
It's me, Wody.
To accept, press 1.
Hey, Brody, how you doing?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Nice.
Wonderful, wonderful.
All right, what's on
How
your
are
mind?
you two?
Well, we're wonderful, wonderful.
Oh, that's awesome.
You sound like Jake Paul, actually.
Really?
All right, what's going on?
Well, I just wanted to know, why is it that you guys like that that punk bitch Ariel Helwani, but you guys don't like Luke Thomas?
They could both suck a dick, to be honest.
I like Ariel. I find Ariel Helwani very listenable. I don't know. Luke Thomas, like, he's smart and he's very articulate, but he comes across as a pompous asshole, so I just can't watch him. It's not that I don't like the dude, you know? Like, good luck to him, more power to him. I can't listen to him.
Ariel is a snowflake, though.
Yeah, maybe that's why I like him.
Well, so is Luke. I mean, Luke is a massive snowflake.
But who would win in a fist fight?
Ariel.
What? I mean, we all know. We all know who would win in a fist fight.
I feel like when Ariel Helwani urinates, he sits down.
Probably. It might be, yeah. I mean, I haven't urinated with Ariel, but he might have a vagina. It's possible. Is that what you're insinuating?
Well, that's just what I heard.
Okay.
And I also heard that while he's at the house, his wife makes him raise his hand and ask to use the bathroom.
Is that true? Jess, do you think that's true?
Sure.
Okay, Jess thinks it's actually true. Okay.
Well, as far as Jake Paul and Dana, I just find it funny that Jake Paul has people believing that he really cares about fighter pay.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. Yeah, so I just, how about this? Here's an idea. How about Dana fights Jake?
I feel like that idea has already been tossed around a little bit.
Well, he wants Mark Hunt wants to fight him. Maybe he should fight Mark Hunt.
Who, Mark and Jake?
Yeah.
No, Mark Hunt wants to fight Dana.
Oh, I was about to say, I would pay many pesos to see Mark Hunt knock the fuck out of Jake Paul.
Oh, for a second there, Brody, you started to sound like Cliff.
Cliff, who's that?
I don't know. You started to sound like Cliff.
Oh, okay. Well, he must be a cool guy.
Okay. Brody, anything else?
That's about it for me, guys. Laters.
Laters.
Thank you. Laters. We'll get to the calls in a second. I found Ariel's thing. Oh, we got Chubbs.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Chubbs.
JBM, how can you not think Ariel Helwani comes off as an instigating narcissist bitch? This guy talks about himself for half of his show and about what he deserves. I can't stand people like him.
Yeah, I do think, yeah, for sure. He does like to instigate, but for the headlines. And he is very narcissistic, but I think anyone who's on a televised show or a public platform is narcissistic, to be quite fair. We're narcissistic, so I can't kill the guy for that.
But here's the difference. We started narcissistic. You know what I'm saying?
I think everyone who's on a public platform starts and ends narcissistic.
No. Our shtick is to be full of ourselves, the king of this, the king of the trolls, the MMA-Holes, like that was our whole shtick along the way. It's
I
not
feel like Ariel's always
we
kind
were
of been
not
that way.
journalists and so okay and doing interviews and all of a sudden be Helwani. Like that's, you understand, the whole revamping of Ariel is what is just like, come on, bro. What
I think he's always been narcissistic, but I think he's just kind of flipping himself around a little bit because he went straight from ESPN. He had to come back to the MMA Hour. There was going to be a lot of heat coming both from the fan base and from employers or fellow employees. So he had to kind of put a guard up to make sure that he didn't get tackled down when he came back. So, listen, I can't kill the guy. I can think of a million other MMA talk shows that I just can't sit and watch for a million other reasons. Ariel Helwani's not one of them. I can listen to the guy because he brings on the people, the fighters, and he gets the story that most other people can't get.
Luke Thomas, when he went to Showtime, I have the freedom to do whatever I want over here, and thank you so much. On Showtime, Ariel goes back to Vox, like crawling back to Vox because that whole shit fell apart. Even though he said Vox reached out to him, let's be honest, like you left for a reason. You left the MMA Hour to go where the grass is greener with ESPN, and everything fell apart over there, and you went crawling back to Vox, right?
Well, I think that's why he threw up that like Helwani type of mentality, because he knew that he was going to get heat for it. So the best way to handle it before it comes at him is to just change the persona a little bit.
But the song and dance, and this is what's great. They get into bed with these big companies to make this big money. It doesn't work out for them. And then they go crawling back to wherever they're going to go, or crawling wherever they're going to go. And then they're like, oh my God, I have so much freedom. Oh my God, this is so great. Oh my God, I'm liberated. Now I'm going to say fuck. Like now Ariel's dropping F-bombs all over the place.
But we're talking about it.
But here's the thing. It's phony, right? What is the real Ariel? What is the real Luke? What is the real this and that?
Do you want to know what's phony? If we're going to sit here and talk about MMA personalities being phony, Luke Thomas went from being this like, oh, diehard MMA analyst guy to now he wants to fuck off and act like a fucking MMA hole. Like it's kind of stupid. That's phony. Ariel Helwani, I get it. You don't like the narcissistic personality. You don't like that he flipped and tried to become the heel a little bit. I totally understand. It's not for everybody. But I would watch that over watching Luke Thomas try to be the goofball bad guy any day, honestly. Because it just does not work for Luke. And I think Luke is a nice guy. When I met him, he was super nice to me.
Yeah, but
it just doesn't work.
You're saying it doesn't work. They got MMA Show of the Year.
They have Showtime and producers backing them. What the fuck? I don't buy into any of that shit.
So you're saying without Showtime's backing,
100%,
they'd be nobodies?
They would be nowhere. Let's be realistic. They have the right people behind their show, behind their production, doing everything for them. That's why they got what they got. That's why I don't fucking buy into it. And I don't think that they're as big as they like to make themselves come across. I would rather watch Ariel Helwani.
Asparagus face? I like that. Luke Thomas, is he asparagus face? Are we going to call him that?
Apparatus.
I'm going to call him asparagus face. That's what I'm going to call him. I didn't want apparatus. Can I say asparagus face?
Sure.
Because he does look like an asparagus, let's be honest.
Okay.
It is kind of true if you think about it. Without sucking the dick of Brendan Schaub and basically taking it in the ass when there was controversy, he sold his soul to be in the top MMA show out there. He literally sold his soul, and you got to think that in the back of his mind, he loves that he's getting... Okay.
All right, go ahead.
You got to think in the back of his mind, he loves he's getting respect. You know, and he's got this notoriety and he's got that big show, but at the same time, he did sell his soul to the MMA Devils.
I can't kill the guy for it, though. I can't, because I'd probably do the same thing if I was in this situation. I probably would. So I don't fucking kill him.
Would you sell your soul?
I don't even kill Luke Thomas or that other guy that's with him for, you know, utilizing the resources that they have accessible to them in producers and networks and things. I would do the same fucking thing.
You would sell your soul?
Probably would.
But here's the thing. We would have to draw the line. Like of course I would sign a big contract. There's no doubt about it. But we would say, listen, we like to say pussy farts.
I wouldn't sell out the show.
Yeah.
No, well, I wouldn't be like sign something that says I'm not allowed to have a cringy show. But if I had the opportunity to sign with a network and stuff to get that backing, 100% I would do it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Luke Thomas had to suck Brendan Schaub's cock in order to get into Showtime. And
it worked.
And what's his face? BC, that guy. That guy was already in bed with Showtime a little bit too, so he had to do a lot of dick sucking to get involved in this. And then when any heat happened, so are we going to have to suck some cock? Because that's what I'm asking. Whose cock do we have to suck and how long do we have to suck it?
Albeit he may not be watchable to me, I can't kill the man because he did what he had to do. He utilized the right resources, and look at where he is. So, good on him.
Yeah. Oh, listen.
But I just can't watch him.
I've said this a million times. If people are successful, I have no problem with that. I want everyone to be successful. If you're a self-made person and you're just going up and getting the views, getting the money, whatever, I'm cool with that. But at the same time, I can criticize the content over here on the MMA Holes because that's what we're allowed to do. Boobies! We would never sell out for boobies! Come on!
Hey, I can see your underwear. Put your boobies in the air, flapping like I just don't care. Can I lick your pubic hair? Snap a picture, time to share. Took my meat vision impaired. Filthy mind, I need a prayer. Pervert cameraman, beware. Pervert cameraman, show them tits. Come on. Pervert cameraman, $10 tip. Pervert cameraman, Yanni Celeste. Pervert cameraman, show them breasts. Boobies.
Nicole with the boobies.
Screw 2022 already.
What?
R.I.P. Auntie Jeannie. Fuck cancer, you'll stay safe. Happy New Year's to everyone.
Ouch.
Yeah, fuck cancer, man.
Your
Cancer
aunt
sucks.
passed of cancer. I'm very sorry to hear that. That is not. That's not cool. That's not cool. Ugh. Do you want me to suck your breast now?
I think she would appreciate that.
Give me the left. She'll take the right. And we will lick your nipples until you feel better. Can I get a fuck cancer in the chat? Thank you, Nicole Wilson, for the $10 pervert donation.
Aw, super chat.
Real gamer.
JBM speaking facts. 100.
Oh, yeah.
100.
Look at that, Jessie. Real gamer agrees.
Thanks, real gamer.
So there you go. So you would sell out.
Like I said, I would. I would not let the quality of the show get like sold out. Like I'd still have to be allowed to have that cringe. But if I had the opportunity to sell to a network, then absolutely.
What if ESPN says, "Hey, we love your show, but you have to get rid of that penis donation"?
Well, if I'm just getting rid of a donation, I don't give a shit about that. I'll just make another one.
That's a sellout. What if it was a donation like Pervert Cameraman?
Yeah.
They're like, not liking the Pervert Cameraman.
Also, first, you got to say, why don't you like it? And if they don't like it because of the cringe, then no, you don't get rid of it. But if they just don't like that donation, just make another cringy donation. We make a million of them all the time anyway.
You're saying get rid of the Pervert Cameraman for the big ES. Would you accept that as a community? All right, 516.
Fuck yes.
5220267.
Make a new Pervert Cameraman donation.
Imagine that. Could you imagine the Pervert Cameraman? I mean, what would we do without the Pervert Cameraman donation? I have no idea. No clue. MMA-Holes in the crowd. What if they got rid of that one?
You can't get rid of that one because that's one of our viewers.
What if
you can't
they're
get
like,
rid of a viewer.
I don't like that Sean Hart fella, so
Too
let's...
bad.
Call from.
Hey, Sanosi, how you doing?
What's up?
Why are you talking like this, man? What's going on?
Oh, sorry, man.
That's
a
all
rough day.
Okay, what's going on, man?
Oh, no, just exhausted Monday after the holidays, man.
Nice. You're coming in a little... Hold on a second. You're coming in a little low. Hold on a second.
Make sure. Is that better?
That's still low, but get what you like off your chest.
I don't know why it's low. That's weird. No. First thing, I don't blame the idea of selling out if you can keep your shit.
Okay.
Unfortunately, what I've learned from most entertainment venues and stuff, it starts small. They want you to get rid of one little thing, and then it keeps building, and then you're trapped.
Yeah, it's true, right? They
Well,
sell
that's why
you
you read the fine print.
Yeah, they sell you everything that's nice and rosy, beautiful. You try it in there, you're like, ooh, this is amazing. And then a couple of weeks later, you get whipped like Kunta Kinte.
Exactly. I swear, though, this whole Jake Paul thing I'm getting tired of it.
Yeah, it is nauseating, right? I tell you what, if there was more UFC stuff going on, we probably wouldn't even give a shit about this, to be honest. But it is pretty nauseating.
I get it, man. I get it. You gotta keep the show going, have something going on. I mean, you guys could try, I don't know, sumo wrestling or Muay Thai or something if there's something going on. I mean, Tapology has a lot of fight cards you can find.
Yeah.
If you ever get bored enough.
You know what Jake's got to do? He's got to. Well, I heard he might be fighting KSI. So if that's the case, that gives us a little bit of a little separation, so we can kind of do our own thing for a little bit. So hopefully that's the case.
You know what I would love to see? Watch him go against someone retired like Butterbean or something.
Oh, Butterbean. My God. Is he? I don't even know if he could stand anymore, that guy. That guy was...
Probably not, but it'd be funny as fuck to see him get murdered. I mean, even someone as out of shape as he is now, he'd still kill Jake Paul probably.
That guy was scary back in the day. Where he killed Johnny Knoxville. I think he took one of his 9 lives away from him.
And that one wrestler dude, I can't remember his name, that brawl thing in the 90s.
Oh, shit. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I don't remember his name.
But you know who I'm talking about. He got ass kicked in a real... because they decided to make that not fake. It's like, oh, yeah, that was the biggest mistake that man made.
Yeah. I do remember that. Jess, you ever see like Butterbean back in the day? I mean, you saw Jackass where Butterbean knocked out Johnny Knoxville in the store. They had that boxing fight, and Johnny Knoxville's face went on the other side of his head. It wrapped around. That was pretty wild. But Butterbean back in the day, he would just be in these brawls, and he would just be sleeping guys. Fat, little bull dude. Not little, chunky, very chunky bull guy just beating the shit out of people. Scary man.
Exactly.
A legend.
But you know what, right now, I'm just looking at 2022 and thinking, damn. I mean, like it's like that comment I made last week about champions staying and going and shit. I'm just thinking, realistically, who could we actually see as new champions this year? And I look into the chart at the Russians. It's hype. I mean, if it's Dagestan, not really for every division, but if you go for Russians for every division, I could see it. The only one I cannot see, which is kind of weird, is I can't see it for heavyweight.
Who was the guy? There was a guy at heavyweight. Hold on a second. I'm trying
Volkov?
I
mean,
no.
He's a striker. He's a top. He's in top 5, I think, or 6.
Yeah, not him. Oh shit, who was it? There was a guy. Damn. I can't fucking remember. Who was his partner?
I have the image in my head.
There was a guy. I can't. No, it's not him.
If he was 10 years, younger, I would say Alexei would have a chance.
Yeah,
he wasn't so damn old.
Well, I mean, the way the Russians are putting these guys out there, they're going to take over. This year, 2022, is probably going to be the year of Russia.
2021 was the year of Russia.
Was it?
Yeah,
Why?
I mean, you got Makachev.
Yeah, but I'm talking about champs. You know, like other than Pyotr Yan. You know, I mean, is Shevchenko Russian? Like,
Yes.
She sounds Russian, right? So, but she's not though.
Yeah, she's Russian.
Nah, she's like something else.
What is something else?
I don't know. What's Shevchenko?
Russian?
No, she's from somewhere else. Hold on.
I think she's Sweden or something.
No, she's not Sweden.
No, Poland.
No, hold on.
No, Jędrzejczyk is Polish.
No, that's true. Fuck.
What's how do you spell her name? Valentina Shevchenko, the Bullet, 22-3-0. Where's she from? She's from Peru. No, she's from Fruns, Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. She's from Kyrgyzstan.
Isn't that
no
like Russia?
That's it's Kyrgyzstan. It's one of the stands.
Come on.
The stands don't count. Right? Do you count the stands as Russian? I don't know.
Dagestan.
Huh?
Dagestan?
Yeah, I guess that's Russian, but still. What about Peru? Fighting out of Peru, though. Lima, Peru.
It's Russia.
Yeah? Is that Russia? Okay, I guess she is. All right, fine.
Okay, so kind of?
Sort of. Like she's sort of Russian. Do the Russians take her for their own? She looks Russian, but...
I feel like I'm losing brain cells with this conversation.
Yeah.
Just
she does. But she talks...
of a female Khabib.
She speaks many languages, though. So I don't know. I'm not quite sure.
Like 4.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you, we need like a Russian female that's like Khabib, or like that kind of mentality, just Terminator on everyone, kind of like a Ivan Drago kind of shit.
Yeah. Makachev's gonna be the guy. He's gonna be the well then again, is KHAMZAT, I know he's from like Sweden, but he's got the whole Russian thing going on as well. Is he considered? He should be Russian, right? But he lives in Sweden, so I don't know.
But he emigrated from there, though.
Yeah, so I guess
he does count, kind of. I mean, you got to think about it. Izzy, technically, people count Izzy for Nigerian, even though he lives in New Zealand.
Yeah, that's true. You saw Will Harris went to Nigeria with Kamaru Usman. He did a little documentary in Nigeria. So I got to check. I retweeted it to show him some love because Will's a good guy. But
I feel like he's going everywhere.
I think they had sex. We got to find out. Do you think Will?
They did. I actually
They had
saw it.
hot Nigerian sex?
Yeah.
Okay.
One Night in Nigeria. That's the name of the sex team.
Will Harris went over there to film a porno with the fighter of the year, Kamaru Usman. All right. What are we doing? I don't know. I'm loopy right now. Anything else?
No, man, not much. Like you said, not much MMA, so there's not much to talk about, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Sonosi, man. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Yep. Peace.
That's Sonosi. The studio's named after that guy.
Mm-hmm.
You better have respect. Him and D-Rest. They're the reason why we're in overtime.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Chubbs.
Women love Ariel because he's like a woman. But in man world, Ariel Helwani is the kind of dude who is just friends with your wife or girlfriend and constantly talks shit about you while pretending to be gay. He's that guy.
Wow.
I could see it.
Damn. You didn't get a chance to meet Ariel, right? You didn't meet him? So you just... Yeah, he's actually a nice guy in person. But then again, he just come across a little two-faced. You know? So... We gotta whatever we see and hear, we just gotta process it and spit it back out, you know? And some things don't add up. Chubbs does not seem like he's a fan of Ariel Helwani or Helwani. So, and I get it. It's like, which one is really him? We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe he's like a bad human being. It's just this whole Helwani thing, which has worked for him. A lot of people are buying into it on social media. So I guess he's just running with it, I guess. But it's just like, you know, if you have a fucking brain between your ears, you kind of say, okay, bro, we get it. Here's the Ariel tweets with Dylan Dennis. We'll get back to the phone calls in a second. Check this out, Jess.
Guys, if you think life sucks right now, just think you could have begged for 3 years to fight an 0-0 YouTuber and 3 years later still not be popular enough or good enough to even be considered a worthy opponent for him. Imagine that. In other words, you could be Dylan Dennis. Hey guys, follow me real quick and I'll follow you back and pay you 1K. For fuck's sake, get a grip, Dylan. Who acts like this? Hey guys, if I lose to Jake, I'll retire. Retire from what? Social media? You already don't fight. 3, 2, 1. Before old DD texts me, hey bro, why don't you like me? Like I thought we were cool, bro. Can't wait for the witty tweet reply too. And then he'll call for a truce and then ask me to retweet his tweets every 2 seconds. What a pleasure. Anyway, maybe this will be the year he accepts your challenge, Dylan. I personally hope he does so you can leave us the fuck alone with your stupid tweets and lame social media skills. Save us, Scott Coker. The begging is unbecoming. Please, for the love of God, save us.
Okay, this is what I'm going to do, Jesse. I got to respond to Ariel. Let's see. As I do so, could you read the chat? I'm going to try to figure... What do you think about that?
I mean, I like Helwani.
Yeah?
I'm digging it.
You like it, huh?
Yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah, it's a new look.
Okay.
New and improved Helwani.
This goes against everything you were saying before. It's kind of weird.
What was I
you're
saying
throwing me
before?
off. I don't know. You were kind of shitting on the guy, and now you like...
What?
I don't...
When did I shit on him? I said...
I don't know.
I said I prefer watching Ariel Helwani over anyone else. How is that shitting on him? I never once shit on the guy.
Well, and the other things that you were saying, but all right. Okay.
I was talking about Luke Thomas.
No, you don't have to get defensive. I'm just saying. I'm just saying I'm confused.
All right.
Sheesh.
Wonderful, wonderful.
For God's sakes.
That's what I'm talking about. Ariel is supposed to be a part of the media, but he's on Twitter talking to fighters like he's about to fight them, and if they get mad and knock him out, he's the victim.
It is true, though, right? Like, that was pretty hard in the paint with Dylan Dennis.
Yeah, well, in fairness, someone had to say it.
So, but what if Dylan sees him, like, not like this is going to fucking happen, but what if Dylan, I'm playing devil's advocate, what if Dylan says, you know what? All right, Ariel, and he sees him at an event and he just japs him. Because he didn't like that.
Yeah, I don't think that
slandering his name. You don't think that's ever going to happen?
No. Guido says, nah, you just don't listen. No names is not all the times. Boba, the love sponge. Baba says, shh.
It's Bubba the love sponge.
It's an O, Moss.
But that's what it's supposed to be. All right, here we go. I'm going to respond to Ariel. Hold on, let me respond to something. I'm going to respond to Ariel with our new donation. Oh, shit. Hold on a second. My new favorite donation, the $7.25. Let's go over here. Here we go. Okay, there we go, Ariel. There you go. What do you think, Jess?
Love
Good
it.
reply? Okay, there we go. Please give that a retweet. Thank you. At the MMA-Holes. This will be our response to everything Ariel has to say. Okay, Jessie?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Wonderful, wonderful.
All right, let's get back into the phone calls. 516-522-0267. As we've responded to Ariel Helwani with our new donation GIF. You know, got to get things taken care of here. We're very professional. Very professional. Yeah, he's going to ignore it anyway, but might as well, you know. What do you think he's going to say when he sees that?
Well, what message are you sending with that? What do you mean by that?
Just him masturbating. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Brand new spanking donation right there. The $7.25 donation. You know, dropping it in Twitter too. Got to get our money's worth with it. All right, the number is 516-522-0267. We spoke about Dana White getting attacked by Jake Paul. Ariel Helwani had something to say. Mark Hunt. A lot of things going in the direction. MMA Twitter lighting Dana on fire because of MMA pay, fighter pay, blah, blah, blah. We got some more stories to get into as well. What else we got?
Okay. John Jones is in the news.
Yay.
I don't know if you want to really touch on him or not. But, so John Jones says that he's been studying his future opponents ahead of his heavyweight move. So kind of ignoring everything that's gone on and just focusing on work again. According to BJPenn.com's Cole Shelton, John Jones is getting closer to finally making his UFC heavyweight debut.
Okay.
After Jones vacated his light heavyweight title in 2020, he said he would be fighting at heavyweight soon. However, he went all of 2021 without a fight and proceeded to bulk up for the move instead. Now it appears Bones is getting close to a debut, and he could very well face the winner of Francis Ngannou versus Ariel Helwani for the belt sometime this year. Although Jones doesn't have a set date booked, he recently took to Instagram to reveal he is studying future opponents ahead of his next fight. On that tweet with a little video, he said, "I spent the last few days locked inside my office studying myself and possible future opponents. I'm excited to figure out my next opponent so I can start focusing in my energy even more. This is my favorite kind of homework." John Jones has not fought since he headlined UFC 247 and edged out a razor-thin decision over Dominic Reyes to defend his belt. Bones has also hinted at 2 possible dates for his next fight, saying, "I'm looking to fight somewhere in April, possibly Madison Square Garden, or a total opposite date, possibly July, at International Fight Week. Those are the 2 dates that I'm kind of eyeing. I think it'll depend on who wins in January between Francis Ngannou and Ciryl Gane, and we'll just take it from there." When Jones does fight next, he will be doing so under a new gym. Bones recently joined forces with Henry Cejudo and the folks at Fight Ready in Arizona. He has been working there for a few weeks now and had nothing but praise for the team. Regardless of what gym he is with, fans are just interested in seeing Jones compete again. The question is, who would you like to see John Jones fight in his UFC heavyweight debut?
All right, I think the real question is he going to fight in 2022? What do you think?
Yeah.
You think he will?
For sure, yeah.
Okay. I think he will too, but is he going to shoot himself in the foot? No pun intended. Is he going to...
He'll probably make another mistake. He'll probably fight and then make a mistake afterward.
He'll fight, then mistake? All right, so you're saying train, fight, mistake?
Yeah.
Not train, mistake, fight, mistake?
Nah. I think it's going to be fight first and then mistake.
Okay, so train, fight, mistake. Okay. I'm kind of with you on that. I think that's going to happen too. Let's see what the chat says about John Jones. The future. Will he ever fight again?
Kanoda says a pound of coke is the equivalent of 1 line for Ariel. Dr. Boss says John Jones versus his demons. Carl Gray says guy or girl. Your personal penguin says I will drop kick your side, whatever it takes. Guido says Uncle Chael, LOL. Constantly hungry says everything on this world makes sense. Kanoda dropping the snowman in the chat.
Okay.
Nose candy. The Ugly says fights Lewis, wins, busted after the after party.
Imagine like... Say, okay, so
you think John Jones wins against Lewis at heavyweight?
I was gonna say Francis beats Gane, and then what about if Francis can't get his visa? That was being thrown around there too. Weren't they saying that?
I think it's.
Or was it Gane? Who was it? Not visa. It was Gane actually, right? What if Gane, like one of them Well, where was the story?
They would still be talking about it if that was an issue.
Let's see. Is it completely official? I mean, I guess it is, right? All right. So say for instance, it's not a layup, but say Francis beats Gane, right? And then Derek Lewis beats Francis again, and then John Jones comes in to fight Derek Lewis. Who wins?
I would say Francis.
Okay, that wasn't the question, but we'll ask again. Francis beats Gane.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Lewis beats Francis again. Okay. Now Derek Lewis is your Fukin champion.
I don't think Derek Lewis can beat Francis.
He beat him once.
I don't think he's going to beat him.
I mean, it wasn't like exciting or anything like that, but he beat him once. And say if he does it again. If Derek Lewis fights John Jones, who wins?
Derek Lewis.
Derek Lewis beats John Jones?
But I don't think Derek Lewis can beat Francis. Therefore, Francis fights Jones, and therefore my answer is Francis.
You can't say I don't think he can beat him when he beat him. You know?
No, I don't think he would beat him in another fight around. It would not happen.
So you're saying Francis would do
So my answer was Francis.
You're saying Francis would do to the Black Beast what he did to Stipe Miocic. Right?
Would he knock him out?
It's possible. I mean,
listen,
Gane ran through him.
Yeah, Lewis has been knocked out before. It's not impossible.
Okay. Who would win? Now, listen, we're looking past Gane. It's probably not the smartest thing to do, as Gane looks fantastic. But say Ngannou wins, who would win in a Black Beast rematch with Ngannou? And who would win John Jones versus the Black Beast if that were to happen? Like, if I'm just throwing those out there, those two fights, who would win?
Jones doesn't beat either of them, honestly.
Jones doesn't beat Ngannou or the Black Beast?
No.
Does Jones beat Gane?
No.
So Gane is the worst fight for John Jones, you're saying?
What do you mean? No, I think I don't
Because
know.
you
I
laughed
just
at
don't
that
think
one.
Jones at heavyweight is gonna fare well.
Okay, what is the toughest fight for John Jones? Black Beast, Ngannou, or Gane? What's the toughest fight?
I would argue Francis and Ngannou would probably be the toughest fight for him.
Okay. And then second toughest.
Oh shit. It's weird because Derek Lewis can easily he plays possum a lot.
Okay.
So I
Call
kind of want to say
from
Gane.
NH. To accept, press 1.
NH, welcome to 2022 in the MMA-Holes. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. 2022 has been good so far.
Nice. How's the business with hubby doing?
Good, good. He's still working, so he's still got some jobs lined up. That's good.
Nice. Good to hear.
So,
All right, Ann, what's going on? What's on your mind?
oh, you were just asking about Black Beast and stuff. I think Black Beast would beat John Jones.
Okay.
Sorry. Yes.
Ooh.
I don't think. Yeah. I don't think so. No. Yeah. Definitely.
Wait.
Sorry. The Beast will destroy him.
All right, so Black Beast destroys John Jones. Now, this is interesting because, you could play the MMA math game and, what Daniel Cormier did to the Black Beast. And you got to think John Jones is going to be using wrestling in his attempt at heavyweight. So do you think that would be a problem or Derek Lewis just flatlines him?
I think he gets flatlined.
Okay.
But you never know how he does. He always kind of looks like you've seen him. He looks like he's gonna be dead, and all of a sudden he comes back and he knocks the guy out. And I know, he's not. I know he's not that good with the wrestling, but who knows? You just never know.
Interesting.
So I still think he could do it. But yeah, if he can't stop him from wrestling, yeah, it'd be a problem. I think he'd have to get him knocked out early and take care of him.
That's my question. that's what the big question. John Jones is clearly coming back to wrestle. There's no doubt about it. John's coming back to heavyweight. He's not going to stand and trade with these guys. And someone in the chat said John doesn't have knockout power. Yeah, if he's not knocking these guys out at light heavyweight, chances are, at heavyweight, he's going to try to drag these guys down and work them on the ground. Derek Lewis, that would be tricky, but a fascinating fight. What about Ngannou?
I know Jones is. I think he's making a mistake going up to heavyweight. These guys are big. They're tough, and they got power.
That's right.
And when they connect. You're out. You don't get up. And I know he's good at wrestling. And he can do what he does, but I'm not sure. I don't think not. Could be wrong, but it's been a while since he's been in the fight game, so.
Kevin Lee in the chat says, tell Daniel Cormier that Jones doesn't have knockout power. He didn't knock him out. He fucking hit him with a shin bone. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's not like he fucking... We're talking about, like, with his hands. Who has he slept with his hands, you know?
About.
Yeah.
Yeah, his hands, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like, what the hell is... What is Kevin Lee on? What the heck? What the heck's going on with that guy? Does he know what knockout power is? If anyone gets hit in the head with a shin, you're going to sleep, right? I mean, if you get flushed, it's like getting hit with a baseball bat.
Yeah, like going, like,
I mean, Jesus. I could not, if I could get my shin up there, which I can't get my shin past my fucking, my hips. Like, it doesn't go, I don't know, my shin doesn't go a foot off the ground, man. I don't know what that is. But I would knock everyone out if I could.
Why me?
Oh, man.
You just have to surge, Moss. Then you can do it.
That's true. That's true. I wonder how high my flying knee could get. I'm going to try, Jess, after the stream. I'm going to try to flying knee you in the head. See if that works.
Jessie would do her jiu-jitsu on you, though.
She would. She would fuck me up. It's true. And it's sad. What else, Sam? What you got?
Not a lot. I just enjoyed the show on with you guys on New Year's Eve night. You guys are awesome, and little Ellie looked great and everything, and MMA-Holes are awesome, and glad I got to spend the evening with you guys. And
That's so sweet of you,
everybody, and MMA-Holes and you guys. And you just make everything better. You know, you guys help everybody and us, you know.
Thank you.
Whether you like it or not, you're kind of everybody's, you know, best friend or therapy and so on. But hey, you know, you're there for us, and we're there for you and everybody, and we love you and continue, and you guys will continue to get better and better and more subs, and hey, who knows?
That's right. That is right.
Show in time, you know, ever better than Ariel and those guys, you know?
You're right, Ann.
I can just give you a big old hug, Ann.
You are correct, Ann. You're the best. We love you, Ann.
guys big old hug, too. I love you guys, too.
I'm going to go make out with Ariel now. Well, Ann, you're the best, and thank you very much for the kind words, and we're looking forward to see what the knitter has for 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait, too. It's going to be better.
All right, Ann. Thanks for the call.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you,
Bye.
too. There's Ann H.
What a sweetheart.
The sweetest.
She really is the best way to wrap up a show.
A sweet, lovely lady. And I see Brewster disagreeing again. And, I mean, that's what he does. He clearly doesn't know what knockout
Brewster's
power
Justin
is.
Jr.
It's crazy, man.
Justin Jr. 2.0.
Did you know what knockout power was? Did you know?
Knockout power? What?
Yes.
As in,
what
like,
would you consider knockout power?
Well, I would assume it's just whatever you use to knock out your opponent.
Wait, so you agree with Brewster then?
I suppose, yeah. I never
your
really,
hands.
never really thought about knockout
If
power.
you say that someone has knockout power,
Mhm.
right?
I think striking. If you say it like that, like, oh, John Jones has knockout power, I think striking. But if you're just, I feel like speaking
striking's
generally,
with elbows and knees too.
No, I'm speaking like upper body striking. But if you're like talking generally, like knockout power, I just think whatever you use to knock out your opponent. That's
Okay.
what I think.
All right, so you and Jessie agree. Let's just say that. But we all know what knockout power is. I mean, come on. What are we doing here? Like,
Apparently, we don't all know, because if
we're
Brewster and
remaking
I
the-
are on the same side, then
knockout
the
power.
other people must
Oh my
think
God.
that too.
This is as dumb as fighter peg talk. It's silly. We all know what knockout, because if you say knockout power is with anything, I could knock someone out with a spinning elbow. I could knock someone out with a head kick if I could get my leg up
Is
there.
that not knockout power?
No.
Why?
Because if I place it on someone, if I place my fucking elbow on your head, it's a good chance I'll knock you out. You understand?
But there's a good chance you won't?
It's a very hard part of my body. It's like hitting someone with a bat. You understand? A shin bone and a spinning elbow, that's not knockout power. That's precision. It's way different.
Well, no, because you can still get hit with an elbow and not get knocked out. So
Okay.
it's not just precision.
Derek Lewis.
There needs to be power.
Derek Lewis, who could throw head kicks, is knocking everyone out with his hands. Just brute strength. It's not precision punching. It's literally that big fucking giant hand of his planting in your face and you dropping. Same with Ngannou, right? Okay?
So powerful
That's
striking.
knockout power.
Powerful.
Okay.
I don't know.
Go down
I guess
this
I
road.
just look at it differently.
Debate about it amongst yourselves.
I'm sure a lot of
in
people
the
look at it
comment
differently.
section down below. Love to know what you guys think. As we have ended our show, we appreciate your company. We'll see you again Wednesday night on the MMA-Holes live stream. And thank you for joining us. JBM, take us away, please.
Thank you so much to your sponsors, Mystic. I keep messing this up.
Mystic Moss.
Mystic Moss. MyBookie, Polymarket, ESPN Plus, and Headrush. Promo code MMA-Holes. It's MMA-HOLES for all of your discounts on all of your favorite products. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We will be live again on Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time for TGIW. And as always, don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA-Hole.